the start of the big ones. We've got some crazy best of ones ahead of us for our second day here for the Legends stage of the London Major. We're live from London, and this one is so damn crazy. NiP versus Team Liquid to go 2-0. Both teams have been picking up momentum. NiP have already got Astralis and Mousesport scalps on their belt, and up next steps Team Liquid, the North American-Canadian sensations that have taken over Counter-Strike as we know it, at least from the North American region, and are making history with every win they get. Now, quick reminder, if you want to join the conversation, you can. Nice and easy. Just hit us up at hashtag FACEIT Major, and you can join the conversation and talk about whether or not you think the Ninjas can do it, because that's what I'm going to do with Sean Gares and Chad Birchall. We've got chopped and changed, and I'm so interested. Sean, you were the spearhead of the North American Counter-Strike assault. You really tried, you did your very best to bring that region up to speed with the Europeans who were taking control at the time. They're here, and they're here to stay now. Team Liquid, you must be kind of proud to see the development this roster has taken. Yeah, Team Liquid's definitely for real, and I mean, this is definitely the meat and potatoes of the schedule today. The meat has joined the desk to go with the potatoes. Hang on a second.
Wow, he prepared that.
I was like,
that's a prepared guy.
I was like supporting him. I was like, yes, wow. The meat, yes.
But yeah, so Liquid is honestly on top of the game. I think all the NA teams right now are trying to mimic Liquid's play. They have like a kind of an Astralis-like vibe, actually. Their utility is excellent. They have super skilled aimers and a passive opper.
But now, Chad, my personal opinion is that I can't call Liquid mini Astralis when Liquid can make Astralis work for the wins. Like, I mean, it feels almost patronizing to call Liquid a mini Astralis when they are Team Liquid and they have their own approaches.
I don't think Liquid are as well regimented as a team like Astralis by any means. I think they have their own ideas and their own approach.
Their own identity.
Yeah, and they're happier to take, feels like a few more risks, whereas Astralis for me are the kind of team who, they play the percentage 95% of the time, right? They're always going to make the right decision. Whereas I look at Liquid and I go, these guys definitely mimic, the professionalism, and they have the right mentality and all that kind of stuff. But I think that their AWPer and Nitro being a secondary AWPer allows them to play 5 rifle setups quite a lot. Yeah, of course, they're kind of doing what no other team does, at least not at this level anymore. Virtus Pro, I guess, would be at the tip of the tongue, but no more.
I do think NAF, though, is like a wild card when you look at Astralis and Liquid. I don't think Astralis has someone like NAF that's just willing to take fights all the time. I watch NAF, and he's so aggressive. Individually, and he's willing to take fights.
He loves chasing the eco frags as well.
Yeah, he does like doing that.
He really sniffs them out anywhere
all
over the map.
You don't see that on a player on Astralis.
Yeah, so Team Liquid, they have their own identity, and they have the players to back it up. It is Nitro on that secondary AWP, and he's certainly no slouch. This is one of the most ridiculous rounds of Counter-Strike I've seen in a very long time. A full ace from him, and they have got that backbone in Taco. We don't talk about it enough, but I truly believe he has helped revolutionize their game. You've already got the aim stars. You didn't have to worry about that. But bringing Taco in, he's what some other teams, the likes of MIBR, lack.
It was very curious when this trade happened, right? Steel was in the roster, and then came Taco to take his place. And it seemed weird. It didn't really feel like an upgrade. It just felt like a one-for-one. Okay, he can do the job, so why does this seem necessary? But Taco's really come out of his shell, and he's fragging a little bit harder. He's fragging a little bit harder in this roster than what he was, obviously, as a pure support player within the realms of SK Gaming. So I think that we're getting to see more of him, and for him, personally, that has to be so much nicer to get a bit more credit when he is getting it done in the server.
Yeah, he's been fragging.
Yeah, and he definitely brings the vibe of Liquid up, because these guys are all, the other 4 I know are pretty prone to tilting, whereas Taco seems to have that positive vibe going all the time. He's able to crack a joke. Look at him right now. He's smiling.
He'll be the only one smiling. Watch this.
The only one.
100%. Naf's never smiled a day in his life.
I mean, Zeus brings the smiles as well.
That's true. Zeus does as well, but he can't talk in the game.
I think Elige is all an act as well. I think Elige, this is all his character. He's like trying to be this Counter-Strike robot, because as soon as we talk to him watching the Counter-Strike, he's got a big beaming smile on his face. He is Ella giggling.
Twist just smirked.
He did?
I saw it.
Oh my goodness.
Now this is the hard-hitting analysis everyone pays us for.
That's what we're here for. But Twist, an interesting conversation for those perhaps who haven't been following every Counter-Strike tournament recently. Twist made an interesting announcement that he has been deliberately chewing gum in their games, in their official games, for one reason and one reason only. It stops him complaining and helps him concentrate. It stops him complaining.
Really?
He has to basically think, is what I'm saying worth stopping chewing for? So, and he says it's been revolutionizing.
As an ex-teammate of Twist, I can honestly say he's one of the most skilled players I've ever played with, probably the most skilled player I've ever played with, but Yeah, he has these like sighs and he does that stuff.
The under the breath stuff is the most tilting.
Like,
if you're gonna complain,
come on, man.
just do it. You know, just get it out of the way. Don't be making him muttering under your breath, because that gets under people's skin. But yeah, the tilt factor for these guys is something which hasn't really been there because they're winning most of their games, right? So when you're looking at how much success that they're having in the server, and hey, is that the likes of Taco doing it? Is that Zeus? Because you look at this team, Nitro's taken over the in-game leadership role, but Zeus is the dad. Zeus is the emotional heart as well as the driving force, I think, behind this roster. And we have to note that he was part of SK/Luminosity when they won 2 majors. You know, he was present to get a team to that point. So what he's doing with this Liquid roster right now, it's not unpredictable.
And the things I hear in passing conversation, you know, while I hear those guys talk, they can of course sometimes join us before that game, and it's just so interesting because there is clear structure present that previously North America lacked. The fact is, Zeus is talking about a push a team did, and then Alicia's like, yeah, we all watched that one together. Do you not remember? It's like, oh, yep, demo. You've got team demo watching, which I know, I'm sure more teams are doing. I saw Complexity's video, they're doing it too. It's just refreshing to know it's happening, and it's happening regularly.
Yeah, Liquid was actually one of the first teams that brought that really structured practice regimen to North America. I know, yeah, like you said, they have, you know, blocked out times every day where they watch demos together, they review every scrim together, they talk about things that they can improve. You know, they don't just show up in scrim, and that's something that was really common in North America maybe like two years ago.
Yeah.
They really put an end to that.
Yeah, they've transformed it, and of course by doing so they've forced everyone else to keep up. Complexity, a prime example, 2-0 for them at the moment. We have to talk about their opponents as well, though. It's the Ninjas in pajamas, and they have not had an easy run here. I want that to be said. The Ninjas have bested none other than Mousesports on Mirage, but also Astralis, and we saw a victory versus Tyloo on Train. They have been climbing as they've been getting closer and closer to that top spot.
I think what's been really impressive for these guys, or at least an individual on the team, is this man right here, Lecro. He's put in some massive performances, and when we were coming out of the first Challenger stage and he had that huge game against Astralis to get them across the line and even get them here, I thought that's not something he's going to be able to replicate time and time again. But when they played against Mousesports, he was playing fantastically well, leading by example. He was in the front of the pack, finding opening kills and trading well, and he's continued that play. And that's something that, if this NiP roster wants to be dangerous, is going to have to continue. When the times get tough and the decision-making and the in-game leadership role does eventually take the toll, it's going to be curious if he will be able to keep up those performances.
Hunger present as well for the Ninjas in pajamas. This roster is presented by DreamTeam.gg, but that hunger comes from the fact that they haven't attended majors. In the last 2.5 years, Forrest was giving an interview just saying, like, we wanted this, we want every win, and also they're keeping themselves very humble and very self-aware that they are not there yet. They're not across the line, they're not in front of Wembley, and this is just another step they need to take. Hard work and indeed individualism coming out from the likes of Rez. This is his first major, and he just wants to do those guys proud, but also show us and the world what he's capable of.
Yeah, and this means a lot even for like the old players like Get Right. I know you started to tear up when they actually made this stage. They got their first win. I actually got a chance to talk to him, and he's really confident, actually. Like this team is the most confident I've seen NiP in a long time.
How many times have you said, "How you doing, bro?" And it's kind of been a forced smile and yeah, looking forward to it. It's not that. It doesn't feel like that anymore. They've got their swagger back. It does feel like the Ninjas have got a little bit of that flair back and that wind beneath their wings.
Yeah, and with that is the vintage plays from Forrest. We saw in Stockholm, he was back to his old self, just tapping away heads, winning clutches. Get Right was doing the same. And you need to think about this now. Even though this is a legendary name, it is no longer the core of the team that we, with 87 and the 0 run that we were always talking about, right? Forrest and Get Right are the only 2 remaining members. Now you add in a new in-game leader and relative young player in his career of Lecro, who's been, I guess, passed around all the Swedish squads, found himself on Godsend, found himself on Fnatic, now he's found himself on NiP. You add Dennis in there, who is someone who is more of a hybrid player in my mind. You know, he gets it done, and then you can't forget Rez, who has had MVP performances dotted over his career, at least noteworthy ones, and that's kind of, I guess, the direction NiP has to go now. Think for the future.
But I love the conversation about Lecro just because he has had such a, I don't know, like if you put yourself in his shoes, if you empathize with him, you realize it's actually been kind of a bittersweet experience for him breaking into Pro CS.
Yeah, I think if I were to ask Chad before Challenger Stage, list me 10 players that could have the highest rating in Challenger Stage, I guarantee you would not have named Lecro, right? But he did. He came out with a 1.49 rating, which is insane. That's their in-game leader, right? And I don't think he's in-game led a team before this version of NiP, right?
I think this is the time he's picked it up.
Yeah, I would add a caveat though. It did seem, and you get the vibe when you have that interview. Of course, here comes a little bit of a guesswork. You just don't know unless, of course, you sit there with their scrims. I think that this is very loosey-goosey in-game leading.
Yeah.
I admittedly,
Shows in
it's
their play
not.
That is
style.
true.
It's not Dennis. Dennis was very. That was when Chad, you'd sit at a desk and we'd repeatedly say, yeah, so they're probably going to do your usual defaults, and then they'll get a pick and push on it. Like, it does feel like there's a little more, but it's not. This is not Lekro, with Rain Man numbers and maths all over his face.
It feels like they do opening moves and then they play well in the mid round, right? Once they take the territory and they trade quite well, and from that they're able to have good clutches. That's something that
Does that have a limit?
Well, if you do defaults all the time and you're not getting your star players who are known for clutching into clutch potential plays, then you're not going to be winning rounds, right? And this, you can see how much they do struggle when they do a default and then they want to collapse back onto a bomb site. It can feel disjointed at times, and that's mid-round calling is one of the hardest things to learn as an in-game leader.
Yeah, but something I did praise them for yesterday, and they've shown the ability to do this actually throughout Challenger and yesterday, was executing on sites. And that's something that I haven't seen Ninjas in Pajamas do since, Threat was coaching their team. And even they wouldn't do it all the time back then. The players kind of resisted that a little bit. So I don't know what made them change, whether it's Lekro, PETA, or maybe it's just like a realization that they need to do this. But yeah, I was really impressed with their B execute on Mirage and their A execute.
And you guys are getting me hyped up for this game. Unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news. Don't shoot the messenger. It does sound like we've got some server issues that Valve are actually currently looking into. So we aren't going to be jumping into this game just yet, but do not panic. We'll be bringing you this game ASAP. We're just going to take a little break, get everything sorted, get all those bugs squashed, and we can jump into the world-class Counter-Strike with a nice level playing field.
Dance all night in the moonlit sky. When the sun comes up, it's our last goodbye. Won't let go, I don't wanna leave paradise. You make everything feel alright. You bring every piece of me to life. When we're looking eyes, I lose my mind, my mind. Crash like waves playing in the sand. Live life hard, never looking back. Life's too short in the promised land. Promised land. You make everything feel alright. You bring every piece of me to life. When we're looking eyes, I lose my mind, my mind.
The games are ready to begin. We've got everything sorted and we're ready to jump straight back into the action. We appreciate your patience? Patience is the word I was looking for. And the pain certainly could be coming into the station, the pain train, that is. We're going to be finding out how this one shapes up. NiP taking on Team Liquid. If you haven't been joining us, we've already set the scene at least a little bit with Sean and Sponge, and they continue to explain this head-to-head. We've chosen a player from either side to get into the action, and it's interestingly enough, in-game leaders rocking that secondary AWP, primary AWP, I suppose, for Nitro at times. This is an interesting comparison you've drawn here.
Yeah, and both are going to have a lot of load on their shoulders. Lecro, obviously, because we spoke about his impact throughout, he's been influential in any NiP victory. And then Nitro, you can definitely put in the same sentiment to be coming out of that camp recently, that they think he's a fantastic in-game leader. So to keep that in mind, he's doing an admirable job as someone who used to be just a hardcore entry fragger.
It's quite a transformation from Nitro.
Yeah, it definitely is. Nitro used to be an entry fragger, and then he became an in-game leader, and now he's finally an in-game leader AWPer. So I mean,
it's like from a cocoon to a butterfly.
Yeah, it really is. And we'll be seeing what he can do in the server versus Lecro, who has been one of the highest rated players so far for the Ninjas, and certainly even in the tournament in the Challenger stage. He was spectacular, doing both and guiding his team both in the fragging department and the leadership. Time to get that veto done though, because the players of course chomping at the bit to jump into this game. I don't blame them, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what goes down in this veto. Gentlemen, I'll throw it to you.
So Liquid actually kicked it off with a train ban, which Chad and I thought was one of the two maps this could go to.
Ouch.
That kind of leads me to believe that we're going to end on Mirage.
Yeah,
but
okay, maybe, but NiP haven't been playing that map.
NiP definitely hasn't been playing much Dust 2 Inferno, and yeah, Liquid wouldn't let NiP play Nuke, so that makes sense.
Here's the thing though, NiP have been playing fantastically well on Overpass, which means if it's happy to go, Liquid get the decision here, right? They get to decide what the map is going to be. NiP are probably not going to ban Overpass. They're like 7-0 or something like along those lines on that right now. So for them, there's no reason to ban that map. It just is are they going to take out Mirage when they've found so much success?
Yeah, bye-bye Dust 2, and their last choice. They do have Overpass. There's of course
in my
Cash
opinion,
and Mirage.
Liquid is one of the best cash teams in the world right now, from what I've seen and from what I've heard against teams playing against them. So yeah, NiP, even though they were historically a good cash team,
so Liquid are going to take Mirage 100% here. I don't think that they have any reason to go into an Overpass, which can be more controlled by the economy than I feel that Mirage can be. So yeah, Mirage is as the final map there, and that means that NiP will get to choose the side. And this is where they have found a lot of the success. This is where they have managed to put a dent against really big teams. So worrisome in a way, but for Liquid, they're really proficient. You think about how spread their rifles are, just locking down bomb sites on the CT side. For them, it's no dramas.
But that is exciting for NiP fans and for the Ninjas stepping into the server. They've beaten Mousesports, they've beaten Astralis. There's confidence in this map coming into a huge game and a huge test for the Swedes.
Yeah, like Chad said, their CT side is locked down whenever you watch Liquid. I mean, from the A bomb site to middle to Taco over at B, there's really no holes in their defense. Yeah, this is going to be actually an insane matchup because NiP has also been equally as good.
Yeah, which means you know what time it is.
Predictions?
I need predictions, yes. First, of course, let's get your casters involved as well. Henry G and Sadakist. We've waved goodbye to Bardolph and DDK, and we've got ourselves Sadakist and Henry G. And it is that tough time, gentlemen, where we've got a map that NiP have already been impressing us on. Does that sway you in any way away from hot favorites?
Oof,
Hang on, hot favorites. I think Henry just straight up wanted NiP, or picked NiP anyway.
NiP have got this, no problem whatsoever. Lock that in right now, put it down there. Not a problem, that's going to be happening. Mirage is going to be a great map. Matthew, but who have you got?
This one's a tough one for me. I'm actually pretty torn. I think NiP is certainly in a bit of a resurgence right now. As you say, Get Right seems a lot happier. They finally made it back into the Sweet 16 at a major. I still think Liquid.
Can't bring yourself to do it.
I tried to even talk myself into it right there, and I couldn't do it. So there you go.
A split caster desk, but that does leave you boys.
Do I need to do the prediction,
Chad,
or you know where I stand?
You're saying Team Liquid win the major. I don't have to ask you. Sean?
Yeah, every team here is praising Liquid for how they play in practice. I actually talked to Liquid, the one team that gave them trouble in practice that they lost to.
Oh?
NiP.
Oh,
but
Henry.
I'm still going Liquid because
Henry's a chocolate bar.
Liquid are learners. They learn from their mistakes.
Okay, well, all I do is copy Henry G, apart from the fanny pack. He copied that from me.
We'll leave that one up for debate.
I'll go for Ninjas in Pajamas as well. Just want to see how far these Swedes. I mean, it's Astralis, Mouse. Who else? Let's find out how they fare. And gentlemen, I think I'll love you and leave you.
Absolutely. Indeed, NiP did play Astralis and Mouse on Mirage and beat them both. Two huge scalps.
Just want to point out that it doesn't matter. It's like a who came first, chicken or egg thing with the fanny pack because no one else is following you guys on that one.
There's only two guys doing it. So
yeah.
Not a problem. It's going to be a good game, though. Mirage, I'm really happy it came through. Like I said, both these teams look very, very well driven right now. Liquid managed to hit on Optics 16-4. They beat Windstrike, Vega Squadron as well. So it's all quite good results in this particular map, but I'm not sure who's going to take this one. It's going to be 50-50. I want NiP to win. I've kind of loved their story. Lecro coming in as game leader and performing as well.
I'm not sure how much banter that was, by the way, just on the desk where Chad thinks that Liquid's going to win the major.
No, he thinks that.
That's impressive and a bit insane.
Yeah.
If they do it, he would look like a genius. We'd have back-to-back North American organizations. But if you want to have your say on that, if you want to go against that, if you want to maybe support that, you can do it. Go to upcomer.com. You can check it out on both the App Store, as you've named it yourself, on the iPhones and whatever the like is, all that stuff, or Google Play if you have an Android phone, which is probably better and you probably should. And then you can vote on the games. You can let us know who's going to win. It's 50-50.
50-50. That's what I feel like as well. It's
That's
really
nutty.
unclear who's going to win. I feel like Liquid definitely are the more prestigious team in recent months, especially this year. But NiP are on such a resurgence, are looking much better. They got 3-0 in the previous section, looking to do the same. The 1-0 right now. If they did it back-to-back, that'd be quite impressive considering where they were not even a couple of months ago. No one really was talking about NiP whatsoever. So there you go.
Well, there was lots of people talking about them, but not in this vein.
Not in the right way, yeah. Masters was great. They got to the semi-finals there. It was like the first signs of life, the perfect time to come online before the major, of course. And we'll see if they can replicate that here. A great team, though. Star-studded roster on Team Liquid. As you can see, lots of people you recognize there, especially Nitro. I think that is going to be a really interesting battle. The fact we've got two in-game leaders here, Nitro and Lecro, both on primary orbs. Never been AWPers before in their career up until this point. Quite exciting prospect in that particular sense. And
Nitro flirted with it. Is a secondary, just to be fair. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's never used the weapon. But you're right, he hasn't been a primary operator in any capacity, and also in-game leading while doing it.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. We're seeing a lot of people go forward with that mentality. It looks like we're ready to go. It will be Team Liquid starting the T side here, NiP on CT. It's not a huge deal. It is a slightly CT-sided map, but we don't talk about it too much. On Mirage, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3 more games to go. This one's going to be an absolute banger. Make sure you get your friends involved as well, and you can see the buys coming in. Team Liquid with 2 smokes, flashbangs, and Nitro with the Molotov. As we'll get into the first round here, looks like we might have a slight issue. We won't get into the action straight away. We want to make sure everything's completely perfect here. There's a slight microphone issue, just to be clear. So that should be very easy to sort out. I'm sure it's just a case of unmuting someone like that. That will be it. Looking at the buy for the CT so far. Any upgrades? Anything interesting? 4 sets of armor. Forest yet to buy. Are they going to get a kits? That's always going to be beneficial, normally accompanied with a smoke. And it looks like we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. This will be for the 2-0 and a very comfortable place in the major, looking to get forward to the final 8. Here we go then. Like we said, Nitro with the smoke and the Molotov. They'll probably be smoking towards middle. A split's very prevalent, but it looks like they might be focusing towards B here. Indeed, that will be coming through. 5 players on this side of the map. They might just be straight up rushing this with the deployed smokes.
So Lecro going to go boost up a teammate. Actually, he himself going to get boosted toward the apartments, try and hold off the position. They should have read that that was a boost because he was elevated peculiarly above the edge of the ledge. And Taco reads that perfectly intact to take down Forrest as well. Good scalp to take on the pistol round, as we know. And the fact of the matter is Dennis is dead with only a single kill, which on the USP, that's fine. 1 kill for him only. You've done your job. You've limited him on a pistol round because you know how carried away he can get. Twist gets res. It's all down to Get Right. As Liquid with a bomb planted very quickly took over the B site in convincing fashion, but look at Get Right go. 2 kills back, at least the second of which both on headshots, and he knows at least one is in the apartments. Problem is, they don't really have to do much. They don't have to leave that position at all. Get Right grabs another gun, doesn't want to go for the reload, tries desperately for knee shots, and Twist has had enough of that. Good effort from Get Right. Better round overall from Team Liquid.
Absolutely. Nice set smokes going in there. A couple of flashbangs over. Got Molotovs to flush out any key areas of the bomb site. And Taco getting it done with a Glock. You can see the CT's going for the boost. It was a nice idea. I think they slightly fumbled it. Forrest would have been better off just peeking for the headshots there, but wanted to get up quickly and found 5 angry terrorists on the other side. They were isolated by the van. Lost 2 frags almost instantaneously there. And it will be the force spike coming in from NiP. Of course, we're going to see the scout in the hands of Dennis. Very, very proficient with that particular weapon. And some deagles to CZ. And Get Right, after getting a couple of frags, has got the UMP. So watch out for him. Looking to cause some damage here. Liquid, though, pretty standard stuff for them. 3 AKs and 2 SMGs. You can see a distinct lack of utility, though. That suggests they'll be going forward in a very slow, methodical default here. Just going to be holding up and making sure they can negate any sort of CT aggression at the very start of the round. Won't be any of that just yet. NiP know they've got a couple of Deagle maestros within their ranks, especially Lecro and Dennis. Watch out for those guys with pistols. Oh my goodness. Lecro especially very, very good at this hand cannon. As you can see, very slow. They want to make sure they get that mid control. It'll be a pretty basic split, probably towards B, considering their positions right now. This will be Molotoving close to make sure there's no close-range CTs here. Hiding on the ramp. That's now clear. Probably smoke towards window. The connector. And either go for the A splits, which I don't think is likely considering there's no presence towards the ramp or Palace. More likely going for the B split with the smoke towards connector there. You can see it landing on the back of Black Road. It's blocking all the vision as they start to make their way up towards shore.
Did 2 damage to him as well.
Indeed.
Rez gets up the ladder, changes the off angle, goes in the open, gets the shot as well, has to get away with the CZ, long reload time, so rather than trying to hold the angle and swing back out to catch Nitro, who is very low and absolutely there for the taking, he wants to get through the vent so as not to be re-peeked before he's ready to fire. Dennis, meanwhile, towards the position, not ready for the entrance of Twist. Twist looking sharp in the second straight round with 2 kills. Naf complements that, and it's on to Rez.
Well, there it is. That's the round concluded. It's just up to Rez now, whether he can save the UMP and armor. That's about as good as it's going to get. But there it is. Liquid didn't really make a single error there whatsoever in their positioning towards the B side. We broke it down for you. Default into the B split. Smoke towards window. That deep smoke towards the connector. Check the connector out. Make their way up. And you can see the pincer maneuver coming in from the Palace area. The B apartments, and indeed short. Dennis could have shut that one down, but the pincer was just too much for him. Taken down from the apartments himself. And there will be Liquid trying to save on this SMG, and NiP with 3 AKs and MP7. Just Taco went down.
Oh, okay.
What are you looking for?
No, just the boost looked peculiar there. I thought there was like a glitch in the graphics, but it was actually just Nitro the way he was standing.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
I was very confused for a moment.
Well, it looks like Rez will be saving the UMP. I'm not sure that's going to yield much success, though. Here's the replay of Twist. You remember, Dennis was there. You can just see the barrel of the scout sticking out. Twist is looking sharp, I have to say. We've only seen 2 rounds, but the pistol, he looks very precise. It's the accuracy,
right?
Yes.
He's not wasting any shots. His kills aren't even in question. He's just convincingly annihilating everyone in his path.
Well, Sean said he's the most skilled player he's ever played with. So
big praise. From a guy like Sean who's played with a lot of North American talent, that's
Indeed.
big praise.
Absolutely. They're going to go for an ace stack here, the Ninjas, and it's so far so good. Rez, with that UMP now, can snowball. They're going to get an AK out of this, presumably. Give that to Get Right. Rez did take a lot of damage, down to 22, but they have the man advantage here. Still a lot of work to do. Bomb left with Nitro alone at A for now. That's not ideal. He probably wants to think about moving out. Even if they do push, he doesn't want to risk going down with nothing. As he joins his teammates now, will fall back. And at this point, NiP, they really are dictating where Liquid are going. You can see, after finding that first kill, they've now positioned 2 players in towards the B side. This is a really cool boost. If they had the AK here, I'd be really excited. The USP, not so much. I don't think it'd be fun.
Is it too soon to use it? Do you save this almost for when you do have a better weapon, even an M4? In this situation, because once you know it and that they're going to do it, you'll be prepared for it. And it's a very tight angle. You won't stay there.
Yeah, I think it's fine because they're just getting vision at that point, but still, I'm not sure what that brings them. As it looks like Liquid will find the majority of their kills. Twist with the 3K, and overall, it's actually very comfortable in the end. It was looking a little bit dangerous at one point.
7 kills in 3 rounds for Twist. I guess, yeah, it allowed the players that were inside a checker to get closer to the site, and they could prepare for the stack, if you will.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things that if it's spotted, then they go, all right, well, they're clearly running that boost. You're not quite as likely to get caught off by it later.
I guess for Forrest, he could get a nice early call towards B as well. He could look deep in the window and just get everyone over as soon as possible. He was never going to get a kill there. It was a decent attempt, though. They had players there. They had the rotations, but Twist, just like we said, not missing a single thing, farming the money. MP7 now, 3 kills to his name, and 4 players to survive once again. That means there's a boatload of cash available for Team Liquid here. In terms of the AWP conversation, $2,400 coming into the bank accounts of NiP into the next round. They could afford a glass cannon AWP. It wouldn't be ideal. It would have to be Rez purchasing it. Gerrard's got the AK, though, and he can drop that for a teammate keeper himself, depending on which way he's inclined. Whoever feels like they're an AK specialist at this point, very advantageous to have on the CT side, especially if you get a good spawn like Get Right's got. Go for those one taps, try and surprise the T's and shut down any sort of execution they had in mind. But the first gun round, especially after a 3-0, expect something quite fast here from Liquid. They're using the fact that the money's going to be low on the NiP side. They force ball in that second round. You can see 3 players of our helmets. Makes that MP7 absolutely deadly. I'm expecting something simple and fast here from Team Liquid.
Dennis trying to spray into the smoke, get NiP rolling early on the first gun round, and potentially their first round In the charts. I have to stop saying on the board, so now it's in the charts.
In the charts.
In the
okay.
charts. On the graph.
It's not as fast as I anticipated.
In the books.
They are waiting for some CT aggression to come in, and it's not going to happen. Remember, no AWP available for NiP. They do have the defuse kit on Get Right. Just one, though, so follow that. We'll see whether this ends up towards B. Looks like that could be very possible. Their B splits have been looking pretty spot on so far. Going to go for that mid-control. And that's brave to walk around. You can see 2 players there ready for a trade. If AWP was there, or even a rifle, if one of them went down, Taka was there for the trade. As they look for boost shots here. No one there towards short. Lots of presence on the bomb sides here from NiP, but nothing towards middle whatsoever.
Twist starts to try and figure out exactly what's going on toward B. Molotov's going to go past the van. That one won't. The second one forces them out. Taco's the one to throw it, and he's certainly ready to cover off the corner as a result of it. Micro down, Elige, Taco. This is convincing from Liquid. No challenge. I mean, NiP, they think they've got it done everything right. They've got positions, they've got a setup, they've got something in mind, and Liquid just tears it apart with utility.
Do you see why analysts especially talk about mid-control so much on a map like Mirage? Because if you allow a team, especially of Liquid's caliber, to have middle like that, with no presence from the CTs whatsoever, they can just completely bully you. They can smoke off connector, they can smoke the window. You have no vision at that point. Are they even going to be pushing? You don't really have enough utility for speculative smokes or incendiaries to hold them off when you think they might be coming in. You have to hit your shots, and unfortunately for NiP, Taco is the one finding all the skulls on the B bomb site as he takes down 2, and then of course Elige to back him up. Once again, only 1 player going down for Team Liquid. This is looking clinical. Money's not going to be too bad. Remember, Get Right saved an AK before. He now does the same again. Just about another $300 in the bag there for the kill, so they can buy. This is just a rough place to be. Get Right could even drop an AWP at this point. Opts for more utility instead. So will they reinforce this? I would say almost certainly I would be in their position. He needs to drop another rifle and then maybe a couple of SMGs. But it's early days, best of 1. Maybe they wanted to manage their money very efficiently, be more conservative with this approach, and indeed they are. Just going to have Deagles here and try and use the 2 rifles. So definitely was a conversation to be had whether they wanted to buy that one, but it seems like the answer was no. Round 5. And this time a bit of mid-presence as Dennis will be firing off shots from the window. You can see he lined it up before the smoke connects, and Elige. Right now, in terms of the 1v1 duels, it's Liquid hitting absolutely every single shot. NiP haven't really had a response at all.
Yeah, they haven't. That's the issue. Get Right still holding onto the AK, tries to get headshots toward the top mid. No one at the corner to be ready to receive them. So 3 players holding off top side connector. They're going to rotate off that. Still wanting to contest middle, and you're right. This is where Liquid continue to take their defaults, their pressure, and occupation of the map. Now they've got connector to work with. We've yet to see them really charge the A side. A lot of their success has been over toward B.
It's defaults, dissect the maps as smokes, get the control of key areas like the connector. They have a 5-on-4 already. They're going to go back into an A execution for Elige, just faking over towards B. I think he's going to go towards the underpass and just hold for rotation.
I think this fake kind of goes off of what I just said too, right? They've put so much pressure on B that it's not going to take much to convince them that, yeah, we're going to go there. So they do a little bit, minimal, and they've caused 3 players to get inside the B site. They have to be early on their rotations as well because they've got 2 pistols, so they're going to be a little bit jumpy to be in the better position. And now A's effectively wide open. They've got 1 player to deal with. That's Rez.
They could just contact play this. Nitro can just walk out and help himself to headshots. There's a flashbang just to help him out. See if the flash assists him at all. Perfect timing from Elige. You can see what he's up to there. They don't have to worry about connector at all now. Just as they're going in, Elige has that covered. As the attention's taken away, he comes from the underpass there. He's stopping rotations from B, short, and now CT score for Nitro. It's just perfect. And once again, Get Right to try and save this AK. Not going to happen this time, as he will go down. Another very clean round from Liquid. This time giving up almost no one. Their money's going to be out of control next round. Remember, for winning the round with the bomb going off, it's $3,500 per player. On top of what they have right now, it's on your screen, as you can see, there will be a ton of cash. They're going to be very difficult to break at this point. NiP have barely got any kills. Good news for Liquid is the key talisman of NiP is Forest. He's 0-5 right now. Sometimes can't get into games, sometimes he certainly can. Lekro, I told you, is good with the Deagle, Matt. That's going to be at least chipping away at the finances. Nitro goes up to $12,000 after dying, so not really an issue.
The other thing is they don't win the round with the bomb.
That's true. You get less.
If you want to get into that. So he actually takes 2 guns away and doesn't give them the same investment.
So you get 30 to 50 if you win the round with kills. So yeah, it does bleed
marginal
out a
difference, but yeah, it's enough considering you got 2 kills on top of it.
Yep, absolutely. Every dollar counts. 5-0 though. Maximum loss bonus now. The orb comes out for the first time in the hands of Forest, just a note. Lots of smokes deployed here. That didn't look correct.
You know what? Maybe,
it
no,
is.
maybe it is. Maybe that's exactly correct.
Yeah, it might be.
I've never seen that
technical.
lineup, to be fair. I need to maybe check the mini-map. I can't do it on this side, but I'm wondering where that landed, if it did go into A or if it was just a complete
I
blunder.
don't see it on A.
Because it'd be a cool lineup, and sometimes people use stuff like that. Either way, flashes to B. Lekro completely blinded, guessing where they've gone. Ring around the rosy. He's gone all around it. Can't find Nitro.
No
Nitro
way.
instead gets Dennis and him as a result, because Dennis was relying on Lekro to find that kill and get the information off of him. Even when it looks like there's something in it, there's still not. However, I say that, it's 5-0 on the scoreboard. Bomb is planted. Liquid in control of the round, but not in the same way they have been in the past, because it's a 3 versus 3, and the HP favors NiP finally. Get Right and Rez both have kits, and a nade kill onto Nitro is going to give them a lot more to work with. This is NiP's best chance to find a round.
Yeah, first chance they've already had. NAF doing everything to shut that down. 2 versus 1 now. Oh my goodness, it's back and forth, but Rez finally gets him around the board. The good news is, sure, you've broken the streak now, but only 1 player survived, Matt. That reinvestment, especially if you can't get that open time, is going to be really difficult. He does grab it, but still, now there are going to be a lot of compromises here. Remember, we did touch on it. Liquid have got an amazing amount of cash available to them. They can get full buys, no problem at all. This is quite an interesting round. The fact Nitro gets 2 entry kills like that. This was a grenade that decided it for me. As soon as Nitro went down there, it felt like the pincer of Rez coming from the apartments area really was going to be successful for him. Took a lot of skill, a lot of aim, but he manages to pull it off. That's what he's famous for. Young player, a lot of talent there.
First time this far in a major,
Indeed.
given
Absolutely.
NiP's struggles.
I can imagine. So the UMP for Lekro, and we'll have a look what else they've got. So Dennis has pretty much nothing. He has no helmet, only 1 smoke. That is it. Obviously no kit. He had 4K to spend into this round. Lekro even less. That's why he's opted for the SMG. Rez of 4600, so he can afford the M4. But they will take a tactical timeout just to discuss their options here. Not looking too good at all. We'll see whether NiP can win this round. Lose it. If everyone goes down, you're looking down the barrel of double eco and a best of 1. At this stage of the game really isn't ideal, but still, first round on the board. It's going to be an A execution. Liquid changing the pace up. This might just be a straight up rush, man. They might as well just going straight in. I think they are.
Well, change the pace, lose a round, change the pace, catch them off, know that they can reset them. Don't let them get comfortable at all. That's worked out so far for Elysian. Now, Get Right gone. Rez the only one left to hold off the A-site. So from connector and in transition, Naf's able to get across Sandwich. And above him on the stairs, up from Forest, Flames in front, can't quite see through them. Remember, our graphics are often different than that of the player's settings. It seems relatively easy to look through it on our screen. It might be very different for him. And he can't find the shot towards Shadow either, so it's going to be a save given the reset. So just like that, you called it. Straight in, less tactics, change the pace, and Liquid pick up a round.
Yeah, they definitely can't go for this one. Lekra now just trying to survive the best he can. Elige will find him, and that is the nightmare scenario now. Might as well force around the AWP. That's if it survives. You can see them gunning for him as he holds in the B apartments right now. Liquid are on the hunt, and it's Forrest that has to sit here in the kitchen, on top of the stove.
It's a hot place to be.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be sweating here. He knows this orb goes down. They're in a lot of trouble, but it looks like he should survive. There's always a chance. The AWP, the problem is they don't really have a world-class orb. They've got decent orbers. Forrest definitely proficient. Lekro showed us he can use it. Dennis even can pick it up from time to time. But are they going to force around? I would say almost certainly, because you've got 2,000. Even with the 1,900 coming in next round, you're still not going to have enough. Dennis indeed has purchased around it. So there's the CZ and armor. Elige is applying the pressure. I love that change of pace. What a great call from Liquid there. Just to change things up. You've been doing slow, methodical default so far. We broke that down earlier in the game. And now, as soon as you lose a round, straight up rush A. No smokes, no signal. Just get in there, hit the shots, and that's really deadly. NiP, indeed, the force buy comes through. You can see SMGs, Deagle, and a CZ. The AWP will be holding towards the window for now. This is another A execution, though. This time a little bit slower. Smoke's deployed. They know the AWP's up, Matt, so why not? You can just remove the AWP factor by dropping all the smokes and make things very difficult for him. You're probably going to trade out against the Pistols.
Twist. Aid in hand. Dennis still couldn't capitalize. He only had the gun to do so, to be fair, but Twist gets away with it on the AK. Tries to spray in as well. And find the player at the back wall, that being Forrest. That would have been the AWP. Meanwhile, a kill came the other direction. Rez manages one, so 4 on 4. Get Right's undetected. 2 players in front of him, one with a knife, one that's blinded up. Get Right's going to turn the round with a UMP bomb as well. And he knows it. He's only got 14, but it's only Twist they have to find. They can play this together as Forrest takes down Elige on the AWP. And you called it, that one gun, although they did bring out a UMP with it, but the one gun carried over the op. It swayed things.
Yeah, well, the problem is Liquid just had a brain fart at that point. They didn't check Shadow at all. I think there must have been a bad comm. Someone must have said it was clear, or Molotov. You could see, I think it was Twist who lined up a Molotov, was thinking about bouncing it in towards Shadow. Just didn't come through. No one checks it, and they get punished for it. And it's a very common position. You can see Get Right couldn't believe his luck. Even while blind, he gets 2. And now it's up to Twist to try and cause as much financial chaos as he possibly can here. And any kills will be worthwhile, but NiP have avoided the absolute nightmare of the full reset after the force buy. So Twist just holding up. He knows Get Right's in there. He hasn't got a nade or anything to flush him out. If he just kills Get Right, that'll be enough. Making footsteps now. They're probably going to get Right there. And maybe even another. They can't allow him to get much more. Electro brave with the Deagle. Takes him down for a nice shot there. Plenty of money still for Team Liquid, but that's more promising now for NiP. It took a bit of a mistake from Liquid, but Get Right capitalized upon it. Those were not easy kills, let me tell you. As Rez didn't work as well. You can see this was the problem. No one even thought about this position. There was no Molotov deployed. There was nothing. They just forgot to check it. So I'm assuming a bad comm came in.
It was a little interesting because Twisted to get the opening kill on that as well. And they knew that Forrest was near the smoke and connector and was outside of the equation. So nonetheless, NiP now find a second round.
Just to note, if you look on Forrest POV right now, he just used the incendiary on his side to give himself this gap in the smoke. A lot of players are doing this right now. It costs you a lot to do it, but it can yield a frag. The idea is, as soon as the smoke touches an incendiary, it blooms straight away. And then it might give you a gap like Forrest has got. But unfortunately, it costs him the incendiary. Hasn't got much for it.
Right, rather than bouncing and getting into the perfect
Indeed,
position. We
yeah.
see a similar approach on Nuke, although to a very greater degree, I suppose. Outside, Forrest, great read. He gets dinked up as well through the edge of the wall, but he's still with 53 HP on an op, and it's the opening kill for NiP.
Yeah, he got dinged by the AK, but right through the wall there. They trade headshots for the AWP. Prevails, of course. 6-2 and a 5-on-4 advantage.
Flash to connector, just to push anyone inside of it back, but Rez knows what that means, and he's swung out from Catwalk, so they can actually hold off mid from both sides. It's the first time with that kill from Force that Liquid, when attempting to do so, haven't gained control of middle early in the round. So back over toward the B apartments. And the man waiting inside of the site is Lekro. Slightly off angle. Saw him pick up the UMP at the end of last round. He's still electing to use that. So the off angle allows him to get a little bit closer. Don't know that he was intending to miss that jump onto the van, but now realizes they are heading his direction. Forrest does so as well. He gets position on Cat to turn around with the AWP, and Rez with the AK onto Taco. Leads us with 27 seconds. A 5 versus 2, and with money starting to fail and fall out of the hands of Liquid, they may just elect to save. So a T-side save with 18 seconds left.
Oof,
That's not even going to go well.
Well, there we go. NiP in this game now. Money finally broken for Team Liquid. Is up to NAF to try and save the AK-47 here, but looking much better. Forrest with some impressive shots out of the AWP. And a slow start for the game, but certainly building into it now. And will be NAF to survive. He's got close to $7,000. He's probably got one more buy available here until they are onto an eco. So NAF might have to drop a couple of AKs here. As we enter round number 10. This was the shot. Goodbye, Nitro. Nitro even ready for it. This was another nice shot from Forrest. Didn't react to the first and patient for the second. Dennis hunting down those AKs that were trying to be saved into the next round. It will be a terrorist timeout at this point. 4 AKs, 1 Galil. That's in the hands of Elige. Also have no helmet. So his money was running very low. He opted for a smoke instead of a helmet, just a note. So that suggests to me they might be going for some sort of set piece. Time will tell. There's Taco, still in a comfortable position. They're on the T side, remember, we did note it is a CT-sided map. Look at the scoreboards while we're here at the very tippity top for Team Liquid is Twist, of course. So many great rounds for him, 9 and 3. Second place, NAF with 7. At the bottom is Taco, 5 and 7. So everyone fragging relatively evenly there. Get Right, 7 at the top for NiP. And then Rez with 6. Dennis at the bottom with 3. So they are starting to find more and more rounds here, and they are a very formidable Mirage team at the moment, so I'm sure this will be a close one. Galil in the hands of Elige. Let's see if he can cause any damage with it. They're going to go back into their default, which was working so well before. Flash towards middle. Dennis deploys the incendiary to stop the crossing over the mid boxes. Does some significant damage towards Elige there. Takes a bullet himself, but overall, I'd say he comes out on top there. Delays him from getting towards middle and peppers Elige down.
So they'll re-flash and retake. They still want mid. They aren't having quite the same success or leisurely stroll toward it as they had earlier in the game. Meanwhile, NiP over toward A. This is something that's been changed slightly. They haven't done as much contact on A during the defaults earlier on, so he's starting to evaluate that side rather than constantly and consistently relying on B. Twist is doing that, however, at the apartments. He's been tagged. He's on 46, so there's good damage done by NiP early on. Still, though, they'll go. Connector smoked off on the top side. No one on Cat in a position to swing. I say that, but Forrest is actually in ladder. I thought he was down below. I thought he'd gone out the window. It's back in position and back in contention. He wants to hold off the reverse side of Connector. He has the information. They're heading that way, more so and more importantly, because now, in the site, they'll position inside of the boxes accordingly.
Looking good for NiP. Get right, still holding strong. He's got Rez there towards the shadow as well. Bomb is all the way towards top of middle, but a nade comes in. It's going to buy at least a bit of space here for Team Liquid, but Rez hitting relentless headshots here. And now Taco and Twist both low. Taco's making his way towards B. He's just going to hope it's clear and run in and plant. I'm afraid that's not the case. Fortunately, though, it's Lekro of the AWP, so HP not really a factor here, but Lekro got the drop on him. Almost certainly, Taco fixes clear and he'll be dead in the next few seconds, I'd imagine. Twist does get something done, but Taco and the bomb go down, and that's going to be rounds. And that's the money also gone for Team Liquid. Finally, NiP, it took them 4 rounds in a row. Well, they did give one away in the process, but now with the reset in there and the saved weaponry, Twist will save the AK. You can see he's got about 3k per player. Shouldn't be a buy here, maybe some deagles. That'd be about it. I don't expect them to force into it. It's not really worth it. If you've got NiP on the ropes financially, that might be a consideration. I think we can reset them right now, but I don't think that'll be the case. I think just a little partial buy here to go with Twist AK. And it's definitely worth him saving it. The way he's playing right now, he can carry the rounds with some CZs around him. Let's see whether that's going to be the case. There it is. Pistols only. A few flashbangs. They're going to smoke towards middle. Might just be a bit of a ruse, just to make it look like a default, and indeed, they'll just rush B. Commonly going to be Taco there alone. But for now, he's going to bring everyone over with him. Lekro with the AWP misses the first shot, and the grenades will come through, and that will be their cue to strike. But there's Forrest and Lekro going to town, and that should be round concluded. I don't think Twist will be able to pick this one up. My goodness, Forrest. Didn't see it, but it sounded very, very crisp. I'm sure it was a nice little spray down. That's why he uses the Silence M4, one of the true OGs still rocking that weapon. Very good, very precise. The only caveat is it has a lot less ammo. Here we go. Oh my god.
It's not bad. We get to see it in the replay. Pretty precise. Pretty much all headshots except for the one on Twist. Either way, that's confidence. If you said it, Forrest started off slow with 0 and 5, sometimes struggles to get into games. He's certainly in this one after those 4 kills, and it's only 1 round between them, so Liquid's, I guess you want to call it a stranglehold. Remember how dominant they were in the first 2 gun rounds especially, and how quick they were on the pistol. It looked like they were shutting down NiP in every facet. That's all changed. All changed entirely, and Forrest is the man to do it yet again. 2 on Catwalk as he backs into the ladder room. They push the smokes. The flash never caught Forrest in completion, and it was easy at that point.
You don't want to make him angry. You can see what happens. He went 0 and 5. He's had enough, and he's gone from the very bottom of the scoreboard right at the top now, 11 and 7. 2 amazing kills there, holding towards CPL. Smokes down. They try and push through it, looking for that trade. But he gets both kills, and that's job done. He doesn't have the challenge anymore as they fall back and just hold the bomb sites. You do not have to go and patrol middle at this point. Let them have it. It's not a bomb site. You've got a huge advantage here. They're looking for picks. Don't give them a chance. Make them fully commit towards a bomb site before they get a target. So back towards A they go. Remember, Twist only with the UMP here. They do not have a single smoke now. So how do they even justify making this round possible? How do they walk into a site? It's going to take some amazing shots here. And NiP should just hold the correct crossfires. No one has to be challenging even the choke points. Make them fully commit, like I said.
So Rez looking to try and take advantage of Shadow. Well, top does go down from above. That forces him out. Elige this time is waiting. Mistakes won't happen twice. Timing not off as Elige works back toward the site. Dennis wants to get in position on the op. 2 at fire. One of them's got to leave there eventually. They do, and Dennis can't act quick enough, so bomb will go down default. The fact that they force him off the angle on the AWP as well means they can get it planted, but there's no further utility, which means NAF has to respond to the fact that they've already lost a player, so 2 does Twist. He's the last alive. 1 versus 2. As Forrest falls immediately in his hands, it's now Lekro over top. Twist knows where he is, goes back out, and nails the shot. I was going to say manages to get away with it because he didn't need to repeat that. He could have played it on the bomb, but nonetheless, it's Liquid's round.
It's not his style, Matt. He wants to
true.
go for
He
the
is
frags.
flashy, isn't he?
Yeah, he wants to show his aim off, and fair play to him. We can't argue with these results. Absolutely fantastic by him. The audacity, you're right, to go for that pick, not required. But sometimes those are the picks that work the best because the CT's assuming that's the way you're going to play. You're going to be waiting for him to touch the bomb. He'll knife out and try and get close to it, but you're there like a turret, ready to go, confident in your own ability. And it will be Team Liquid to pick the roundup. You can see they're still not feeling too comfortable. There will be a Deagle, a UMP, even after winning the previous round. It came down to that 1 versus 1. And at the have a firm upper hand, but another B rush coming through. It's Lekro to defend with Forest. But they've done a very good job of holding it off. They've got the correct incendiaries, as you can see, coming into that position. And nice response with the Molotov. Actually does a ton of damage towards Lekro there. They'll have to fall back on 43 HP, and they'll go back into their default here. That cost them almost all their utilities. They've still got 3 Molotov, sure. They are good at flushing CTs out, but the smokes and the flashbangs, they're the bread and butter of the map. 1 minute 15. Only significant damage was inflicted towards Lekro. So we'll see what the reposition leads to here from Team Liquid. They are going to still probe towards B. That's where the bombers as well. Taco, I was about to say, if you're going to walk in with Eagle, make sure that bomb is not on your back. That could be an absolute disaster. Nice position from Lekro. Can't see the heads, but you can certainly spray down the kneecaps. Hit him where it hurts.
Used to be an adventurer like you.
Yeah, exactly. Bit of Skyrim there for you.
Yep. Forrest does catch one. Nitro dropping in. He's been remarkable on this catwalk position. Again, controls at times into perfection. However, he's not prepared for Elige to arrive late. He's only got 9 HP, and he's got 200 defined. Get right and Rez, both unscathed so far in the round. Gonna get a bomb plant in, though? Yeah, not bad at all things considered. Flashed off. Doesn't lose his vision in full duration, but was not anticipating Get Right to swing in from catwalk as he did. 7-6. NiP holding their own, absolutely.
Yeah, Liquid certainly were dictating the pace when they controlled the money. After winning the pistol, you could see they carried that momentum forward. Lots of fast-paced strategies as soon as they lost a round, just changing things up. From slow to fast, and now they're starting to drop off. NiP looked a lot more comfortable since Forrest has come online, and why wouldn't he when he's hitting almost absolutely every single shot at this point, holding the piece, bombs out like an absolute boss here. And it's now round number 14. We really have flown by in this first half. It started off quite slow, but now we're already into it. It's going to be another eco for Liquid. They did get reset with the bomb being planted. Still not enough. It's $1,400 plus the 800. So as you can see, 2K per player. Deagles, a PT50, no armor, no nades. Should be quite a convincing NiP round. We've got a bit of aggression here for the first time. It seems too much. Dennis is going to struggle here, though. Against those rounds, you know, they've got pistols. I'm not a massive fan of pushing up like that, but still, they've got to win the round. It's number 15. It really matters.
They are against pistols. It's totally fine, as you say, but it's more the fact that you get the information, and Forrest is just like, yeah, all right, I'm in. I'm all in on that one. You saw pistols. You got what? You got damage 2 of them? All right, I'm there.
He was 0 and 5. He's now 16 and 9 for us, that is.
It's pretty good.
Not a bad turnaround. That's why he's considered absolute legend. Always performs, even when the team doesn't, but they all are turning up now. It was getting quite dicey at one point. There was 6-1 down. It's now 7-7. So we'll get into the next round. The final round of the first half here. Any AWPs? We do have one for Rez. Remember, Swedish team, they like to juggle it around. It's fine. It keeps things variable and dynamic. As the flashes go towards middle, it's Rez who's going to connect her. Same incendiary threat by Dennis as he tries to stop the mid-cross, and Rez just looking for anyone getting through there. Dennis doing a lot of damage here. And Forrest, once again, only good for 1 this time.
This is the exact problem with that. Dennis fired so many bullets in that Forrest only gets 1, and Dennis had to reload and force that a rotation. If he had been ready, he could have actually fired back into that angle because there wasn't a smoke covering the deep side of catwalk. So, bit of an unfortunate situation for Dennis. He was kind of relying, I think, on Forrest to do more with that, but it gives them a bit of access toward ladder room, which can open up a lot of opportunity. Cut off rotations, can start working toward the A side, can also hold the rotations if they want to go B, which it looks like they want to do, given that there's 1 minute and 10. There's still options available, but they are approaching on the B apartments more and more. Nitro gets caught out. Good nade.
This is looking good for NiP. Another advantage for them as Dennis holds patiently towards that B side. Nice clever angles there, but you can't avoid the aim for too long. 2 versus 1. Leaves with 45 seconds, and now a real chance to do something with it. We'll see whether there's any sort of possibility of getting this bomb down first. If he makes his way towards A, that could be everything. Going to jump through the window here. Maybe go for the backstab. This would be a brave move.
Hold the vent. Get right. Oh, he's there. Elise was expecting someone to be up close, crawling through, and it's NiP having taken back that position at ladder that take the round and take the half, 8-7. I was not at all convinced after 4 rounds that it was going to end up like that. Liquid looked dominant early on, but good response. You said it as well. When they lost the money, that's when they lost control.
Yeah, indeed. It took 4 rounds from NiP to break it down, but you could see they did significantly drop off there. They didn't really have a response for NiP, especially Forrest. They tried to throw everything they could at him, including the kitchen sink towards Short. Really didn't work out for them, though the splits were so good at the start, but then Forrest started playing CPL, and then all of a sudden, you can see he's fired up now from 0 to 5 to 17 and 10, I believe. Indeed it is. So we get a halftime score of 8-7, split it right down the middle. Thought Liquid had this game in the bag the way they were going initially, but all bets are off, and we'll get into the second half. And look at the CZ from Nitro. He's ready to defend here. Maybe a straight up B rush as well from NiP. We're seeing a lot of this tournament. Going to slow things down. They've got 1 smoke. That's going to be deployed by Electro. Looks like he'll be throwing it towards the window, I'd imagine. We'll have a look. Straight in towards that pillar area to stop those rotations. Now have to play in front of it. Smokes are in. As he falls back, you see how stifling that smoke can be. It's now Taco on the site. Lots of Glocks around him. Needs to be very careful here. Great shot to kick things off, but only good for 1.
Dennis gets the response kill.
Ooh, what?
Elige, that was remarkable to take out Forrest. Bomb gets dropped for a moment, but they'll gather it back up. The problem being that they're down a man. And the plant comes into question, given that NAF, okay, fair enough, could pop out and potentially spot them. His timing slightly off. It allows Dennis to get it down. He's now ready to hold that said position, but Get Right's got NAF off screen. That brings us back to 3-on-3. Remember, T-side pistol went to Liquid last time. It's the response attempted by NiP. Elise has other ideas, and so too does Nitro. Res down, Get Right left alive, but he's inside the site and completely surrounded. Not with a lot of options to him in that position. So Liquid with both pistols.
Indeed. It's going to tie things up. 1 smoke towards Short. Flash in, try and overwhelm
GTG,
the 1
is
CT
that like
on the other side.
Got to go, is that what that means?
Where's that?
The spray that Nitro put out?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what it means? Gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's like the MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
Gotta
indeed
go,
it was.
TTYL.
Give him a nudge as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Elige will be looking very crisp at that USP. Twist continues the strong form he's shown as well. Bomb down, though, you would assume it's going to mean the AK is coming out of the 3rd. Some teams like to have the surprise purchase in the 2nd, but it looks like a more conservative approach here for NiP. We are going to get the full distance now. I would say NiP waiting for the next round. There are 3 SMGs for Liquid. Maybe would have preferred another rifle. That is considering they know they're up against the AKs in the next, but still fine. And we'll see whether this slow approach from NiP will get them anything at all. Dream scenario, bomb goes down. Otherwise, bait out as many grenades as you possibly can. Make it an expensive round in one way. If you can get a couple of kills, that's ideal, but it's unlikely.
So boost up for Get Right. He'll stay on the outer ledge, so that gives him the possibility of going into the window whenever he wants, ultimately. Bit of a change in that ledge. Used to be a little roof.
Yes, that's
now
right.
it's just a little... I won't say the word pixel walk, because it's not. There is a ledge there, but it almost appears that way when you look at it. It's tiny.
It's a lovely little position. You actually look up in the vent and hold there for rotations as well. There it is. It's a nice little angle to hold if you can get the bomb down, especially. Either way, here we go. Just looking for those 1 digs. Dennis, certainly capable. Considered one of the better pistol players in CSGO. Not this round, though. Twist got his number. I mean, got no armor here. So as soon as you get hit by any sort of bullets, your aim goes in the air. You melt away, and they might be able to get 1 hit. Nice little dink there, at least towards Twist. But it looks like this will be a clean round. Just going to be Forrest with the Glock. Trying to do whatever he can. Nice work, to be fair. At that range especially. Gets a couple of dinks on Nitro. Gets 1 kill for it. That's an extra $300 for him. Means he has 45 into the next round. An extra kill means maybe an extra smoke, right? So
Nitro was like 3 steps from checking that, too, and decided not to. That's why I think that's why Forrest knew he had it, because he was like, oh, okay, he's running away now. Easy peasy. But you're right. It all counts money-wise. So 9-8. NiP, they'll bring out AKs and 1 Galil in the hands of Lekro. Lekro's a player who's gone through a lot of transformation in even a relatively short career. 2 years, I guess, isn't that short in CS, but
Fnatic,
still.
NiP, Godsend.
Different roles, though, throughout.
Around.
In-game leading.
Yep. He started off in Fnatic, didn't he? Then he went there again. Now he's back in NiP. It's all over the place. Here we go.
Started in Godsend, technically.
Godsend, that's right, indeed. And it looks like the AK actually finding a decent trade here. That's an open B side for now. Are they aware of the possibility of the backstep coming in. The bomb will be thrown down. Taco, though, this is the play. If Lekra looks away for even a second, he'll be done for, but he holds strong. Like Galil will find the frag and maybe even the round here. Yeah, they're going to have to save.
Well, that's the call. So NiP going to tie it back 9-9. Bit of an earlier buy than that which Liquid, or that which they brought to the table, I should say, on their CT side in the first half. So bring it level money-wise. The save, FAMAS, bomb plant in. It's going to go the way of a bomb victory. This is all great for NiP. They've only lost one player, that being GetRight. His AK picked up by Lekros, so they only sacrifice a Galil. They're starting to build. It's Liquid that needs to be very careful with money yet again.
Absolutely. That's why they saved the 3 weapons. Coming into this one, we did question the fact they had the SMGs. Like, well, you know the AK's coming out. You got 3 MP9s in that second round. I know the analyst had a big conversation about that yesterday with Cloud9's antics on this particular map. And we've got very questionable at that point with their financial decisions. So, I'm assuming the force buy will come out around these 3 saved weapons. Of course it will. 3 M4s, now 4, and the save FAMAS. And this is pretty huge in the context of this particular game. Could be indicative of who's going to take the map. There's a smoke towards middle. GetRight throws it. That's the same Molotov. We're seeing a lot of teams do that now. That we got to see it live. So now you can see he has that gap. It blocks the smoke from actually landing correctly. Makes things very uncomfortable for the ensuing Ts. Forrest, though, aware. He did it himself in the first half. He knows what that's about. And as we'll be holding middle now. They have got control. As Naf, though, waits patiently. Another default round here from the terrorists. Still have 4 smokes, and you can see them lining them up now. This will connect up. So that's thrown by Ali. He knows they're going to try and get connected control with that smoke going down. He's going to buy a bit of time at least. Not the most effective incendiary, but stops him getting in there for a while. Forrest taken down by Tackers. Good positioning there with the FAMAS. Gets nice and up close, takes the first kill. Doesn't upgrade to the AKs, wants to get the hell out of there and avoid any sort of trade potential.
So they'll occupy Cat. It's a bit like Occupy Wall Street, but not the same at all. As they try and head toward B. 3 players there, one of which is Naf. He gets the early peek, takes down Dennis. That now brings Nitro a little bit closer. He can watch the window, support Taco, but also swing to Cat as is required. It would be now as Rez got far and beyond, but Nitro's ready. Trades it as designed and gives Liquid back the lead 10-9.
After saving 3 weapons in the previous round, they win the next with 3 once again. That's a big round for Liquid to pick up. They'll take the lead 10-9. This position was fantastic. Taco is known as a decent anchor towards that B site and changing things up. If you want to throw in some of those aggressive positionings every now and then, you can see how effective they can be, especially against a default. As he gets the kill, fall back, and it will be a force by here from NiP. 2 pistols, 3 rifles, one of which is a Galil. Round 20. And it's the execution from NiP. Makes sense. You haven't got the best firepower here. You give yourself a post-plant situation like one of your stars to try and capitalize on the situation, but Nitro's playing on the bomb site here, tucks himself in the corner, and here comes the full commitment from NiP.
Above the smoke though, Nitro! Okay, Dennis, fair enough. Unfortunately for him, I think one of the bullets actually hit the AK and flung it the other direction. It's back on the other side of the box, but Nitro positioned, I thought, well, considering the amount of smoke isolating that position. Dennis has got other ideas. He's gone over the box with the deep smoke to grab said AK and gets a second kill in the round. Elige finally silences him, but what a response so far from NiP, and it gives Rez middle to hold and look back through toward the bomb. Taco reads that perfectly. It's changing and changing again. Bomb's still down, but the man advantage now doubly so in favor of Liquid on the retake as Taco finds Lekro through the edge of the shadow position, and it's GetRight on a CZ, never able to pick up a weapon, who has to try and deny the defuse and cannot do so.
Fuse comes in. It was looking promising there, especially with Dennis's entries there with the CZ. Couple of kills coming forward. The bomb planted. Not what they were looking for exactly. They got the post-plant situation, but just didn't have the numbers to convert the round. And Liquid now looking pretty comfortable on the CT side. They know we're up against an eco now. NiP can't justify another investment here. And Liquid are up 4-1 in the second half. No orbs required just yet. Nitro might want to wait before buying one. Could even just go for a P250 buy here if he really wanted to, and get the AWP out next round, but also could purchase it here. We'll see what he decides to do. Terrorist timeout, as they assess their situation. As you can see, second round loss bonus with $1,900 per player leaves them at about 3K for each terrorist member. Really not looking too good in that respect. Just a round to decide what can we do here. Talk about the next round as well. How can we possibly get the bomb down here? As Dennis will be deliberating with Lekro, who's now the in-game leader. Remember, it was Dennis the in-game leader when he first joined, and that's when NFA looked super weak. He didn't bring a new brand of Counter-Strike at all. It's when Lekro came in, who really didn't have any experience in in-game, was brought over from Fnatic as a replacement for Draken. It was a bit of a switch, and he became the in-game leader, and a really weird decision. No one really believed in it, but this is the best they've looked in maybe a couple of years, so there we go. Deagle's around. Get right, get some armor. Just the Kevlar, 650. Keeping his money around 2K, that's fine. 121 now, and should be quite a convincing one for Team Liquid here.
Now able to take out Forrest. Continues to hold on to Catwalk, had support underneath from Elige, and he found Rez down below as Lekro fell victim to the second kill of NAF. So that leaves us with just Get Right and Dennis, and they will reconvene. They'll never really get to the rendezvous point as Bomb waits in Horseshoe. It's Get Right with a Deagle, who's going to be watched very cleverly by NAF. I say that. Okay, he does see it. I was going to say, I thought he was looking to the angle of the door, but I was going to say, he may not be. Maybe tucked in, expecting him to go up toward mid. He's smarter than that. It's 12 for Liquid.
It is. It really is. And the money's starting to stabilize somewhat for NiP. 5 AKs, though, and Nitro, like we said, he got the MP9 previously. He's thrown that away, and the AWP comes. I was about to say, that'd be a brave move. And you got all this cash. Depends if you throw away around just to save a bit of money there, especially when you can close it out. Best of one. Let's just get the rounds on the board here. Nitro hasn't been lighting up the scoreboard with 9 kills, but certainly capable on the CT side to cause a bit of damage here. Naflight, decent movement to get up towards shore, beats the smokes. Nice little angle for him to hold for any crossing T's here. Flashbang will come in though, needs to be very careful. There's the flash, has to fall back into the smoke. Does he want to challenge again? Probably not now. 42 HP, make it 0. Lekro predicts it, takes him down. Nice opening kill though. Remember, they still have to negate the AWP potential here. Nitro repositions towards short, looking to find the frag in return. Same story for Elige. AK in hand towards that window area. Hits the shot. Nitro, that is, but will go down. Lekro with his second.
Yeah, that's not bad. But unfortunately, you can see that bullet hole just to the right of where we just looked at Taco's perspective. That is why Lekro is alive. Top shot would have killed him otherwise, but they go back over toward A, which is vacant. Lekro holds boxes at mid.
Seconds here. You can see the A side completely open. As soon as that bomb's planted, that is round. CTs will be saving. Lekro gets it all done. And I think it really does dispel, perhaps, the argument that the in-game leader is always going to frag less. Lekro has been fragging harder than ever since he became in-game leader for NiP. But Elige is fighting back. I didn't think they stood a chance, but he's done a very good job at least making this viable. They do have kits. AWP and AK, but the AKs are so valuable on that CT side. You've still got the lead here. They are going to at least probe towards the A side and see what's possible. If they had a smoke, I'd really be believing at this point. But NiP can set up that trifecta. They've got 2 players at the A ramp. That's going to be Dennis, joined by Get Right, and the time really is ticking away at this point. Flashbangs deployed. They are going to go for it. Brave move by the CTs, but decent flashbangs, I have to say.
That's a good find on Twist as he crossed over, though. And Dennis still holding off the line. He'll do so doubly as he takes down Taco. NiP get into double digits, and we're 2 rounds between them. A back and forth affair. Bomb doesn't detonate. I think everyone would have been safe with their guns at that point anyway, but back and forth affair. The money isn't really established yet for NiP, but this will be last buy for Liquid. This could still break wide open if NiP can win this round.
Good stuff. NiP closing it out of ease there. It was a brave move by Liquid, but they had plenty of cash. They can certainly justify. They've gone for a double AWP setup now. Taco, known to actually be pretty handy with the AWP, wasn't really ever given the opportunity in previous teams. It really has been off the leash within Liquid. It's probably some of the finest CS we've seen him play in terms of individual performances recently. But this really is quite a high impact round. If NiP can close this one out, they're almost certainly getting at the 12-12. Liquid with the double AWP for the first time, and a shot through the smoke. Why not? Twist will find Rez, an annoying death to receive.
Very.
He wants another one as well. He could get it.
gets Get Right. That's pretty damn good start from Twist. Very good start, considering what I just said about the money. This is a make or break round for either team. Lekro, Forrest, Dennis, all that remain. First shot on Rez. Did he have head armor? I thought I only saw one bullet land on that from the M4. It might have been two really quickly, but either way, the man's dead.
Yes.
He's not hot. Forrest takes ladder. That will give them some availability to try and open up mid and dissect the map. The problem is that the vent is still very much intact, meaning noise trigger.
Yeah, and you can see how Liquid have repositioned now. Same story as talked about in the first half when NiP started getting morning. As soon as you get those first picks, you want to be falling back. Nafly does flirt with danger here, but good smoke still. Forrest will find the kill. Can he get another? Certainly not. We said Taka was decent with the AWP. It will never be anything too flashy, but he knows the positions and the sort of approach he has to take to find the really important key frags there. That's one of them. 4 versus 2 now as he watches from a decent angle here, not too dangerous, and he'll have an opportunity at least at another shot before they commit. 15 seconds, they have to stick towards B. Smoke is decent, allows them to cross over. Taco still going to be there with Elige, and it looks like it'll be absolutely fine. Taco hits the shot that really counts, and now Dennis in a 3 versus 1. Shouldn't be able to do too much of this. Maybe I spoke too soon. The bomb will be planted.
Bomb's going to be planted. Twist is the M4. He's low. Nitro, fair enough. Goes in knowing that he was going to be on the bomb with the pistol out. I was going to say Twist on the M4. If he got dropped, Nitro then would have to find a gun on the retake or take a gamble on the AWP. So closer than you think in the end, but Liquid still find round number 13. NiP, with virtue of the bomb plant, will be able to force. So although the loss round bonus is only going to be a single round, the bomb plant puts them in a position where they could force. I say that Rez is low. They may elect to actually sit and let this go one more round so that they're not leaving themselves late in this game. And I take it back because they've got AKs out.
There certainly are going to be holes though. Matt Forrest with no nades whatsoever. Dennis with just a single flashbang. Rez with a pistol. It ain't looking good. A lot of teams would go for the single execution here. Looks like they will be running just a straight up default though. Dennis looking to head towards that A ramp though. Elige on the other side tucks himself in towards Sandwich. Bomb is down towards A, just to know. So this will be a default that ends up in an A split, I'd imagine. Rez holding towards the B apartments for the aggression at the very start. It's going to be Naf towards short once again, and Nitro with the AWP. Looking over the gap. He knows he has a chance as they cross over to hit one of those difficult shots. So far so good. No damage really inflicted on either side. Nitro knows there's very little chance they have the AWP. AKs is about all they have, and 3 flashbangs now.
So Twist under Shadow. Sandwich for Elige. Nitro needs to watch Connector and toward A main almost together because they need the information based on the Shadow and Sandwich positions. They're both very vulnerable, but they're powerful given the right information. Nitro, good start, takes down Lekro. Elige waiting, gets looked at but looked away as Forrest realizes too late, and that gives Elige the information toward Palace. He's got the angle. Now they know there's working up Connector. He's got one on either side. He just has to play this to perfection and allow his teammate with the AWP to peek correctly, and that is exactly what happens. Nitro trades off the information. It wasn't even so important for Elige to get a kill, just so long as he could make the right call. Running gun for Rez. No bomb in his possession, but does get at least an op in a 1 versus 2. This is going to be a massive problem for NiP.
It really is. Not looking too good. 5 seconds remaining. Rez gets no cash for the next round as well, but he will save the orb. I'm guessing. The looks things are there, no problem. They went for the A attack after the default. Found kills, but that's not quite enough, especially at this stage of the game. 14-10. I feel like they have to go for the buy here. With the AWP, that's just too much not to go for it. Nitro, 1 by 1, takes him down. Elige, fantastic work here, picks up the AK-47, goes to town towards the Palace area, and there we have it. It will be the force buy from NiP. They can't afford this one to slip by.
You know, maybe I should be on Chad's side. So if Liquid were to win this, it would be the first ever Canadian major winner.
That's true.
For Twist. We're a long way away from that, but I'm just, you know.
We've got a chance, a couple of UK winners, mate. That's happening. Complexity and big in the final.
All right, Henry.
against each
You want
other.
to lay a wager?
Whatever. You've definitely got a higher chance than me.
Canada versus UK. Who's going to win a
Okay.
CS:GO major first?
All right. Well, I think you've got a much higher chance. So
Well,
I've got
you want to take
have
the bet or
odds.
not? You've got 2 players.
I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. You've only got one in this
Well,
stage?
there's others, but
Yeah.
Twist is my,
Okay, your
my
boy.
horse in the race.
Okay, fair enough. Complexity looked lightning hot earlier. That was very cool to watch. Either way. Deagles, CZs trying to avoid match point. They've got one smoke, a couple of flashbangs. Really isn't looking good. It's Reds with the AWP. He needs to try and open a pick for them. Not against the double AWP setup anymore, but still, NAF. This could just be so destructive. They're going to commit, have to run through the flames. They can't really afford to go back. Now they've got nothing. They've got no flashes, they've got no grenades, and just the pistols and the AWP. But how do they really break down this bomb site? I think they know they're done for as well. That incendiary really did ruin their chances. Sabotage did almost, as Taco now looking to spray them down. They have to commit. It's getting a little bit dicey for NAF, but they line up for him. Very convincing in the end, and I don't think Rez will be able to save this weapon. He could have a chance here. That's not bad at all. 20 seconds. Could he be the savior for NiP?
Rez still desperate to find one more before going for the bomb, and the subsequent plant smoke down on top of it will allow him not to be open from window when he does grab it. But the second he tries to plant is the second they'll pounce, and you could see that coming a mile away from the X-ray. Nitro gets in position, and Liquid get map point.
They certainly do. No bomb planted, just denoted the end there. Decent attempt by Rez, a couple of nice shots, but unfortunately still find themselves 15-10 and the money's absolutely wrecked. I was about to say NAF looked like he was in trouble, but of course he's so good in those sort of positions. One of my favorite players to watch defend on the CT side. So calm, so precise. And now NiP really do have a lot of work to do. They'll take a tactical timeout, of course, and see what's available to them. It's $2,500 pretty much on the nose for each player.
Someone's just brought up a good point.
What's that?
If complexity win, we actually tie. Because Android and Def.
That's a
so
good
really
point.
it's Smoothie
Everyone's winning
versus
then.
Twist.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that. Maybe not to win the whole thing and see who gets further.
That was Bach that brought that up. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that is a good point.
That bet continues on.
Why don't we both just support complexity? Then we've both got an equal.
But that's not the point, right?
Okay, you
Like,
just
if we
wanna beat me.
tie, we just shake hands and we say it's all good. But we
All
got,
right, fair
there's a
enough.
bit of a wager. We got to have some fun.
Yeah, fair enough. Doesn't really work as a bet if everyone wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. Then could be the final round. As you can see, grim times for NiP. They had that rough start as well. 6-1 down. They brought it back. They lost both pistols. It was a good game up until the last few rounds where Liquid have just looked way too comfortable.
Although if we want to be bros, we can just cheer for them together. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
we could
indeed.
do that.
We
It could
could.
be our thing.
I do cheer for them anyway. I think it's great to see a couple of the good names coming through finally. It's taken us 10 years to get back to a place for UK's England relevant, but there we go. It will be the CZs, the Deagles, and a bit of mid-control. Not too bad for NiP just yet. I'm not saying this is a foregone conclusion. If they can get the CZs in here with a decent flash, maybe there's a chance, but Twist doing everything he can to avoid it. Now he needs a fire and baiting his teammate. That's so perfect. The fact he fired those shots is everything. They knew what they had to do there. That's the system. He gets smoked out. He just fires speculative shots and just takes the aggro, and that should be round. And indeed, the game 4 versus 2. Unless Nitro has some absolute disastrous shots here. It looks like it's in the bag, and indeed it is. Nice clinical finish there from Liquid. Good game from NiP, considering they're down 6-1. They had financial woes throughout that first half, Matt. I was impressed they brought it back to a realistic situation, but towards the end, especially when the double orbs came out for me, Liquid just looked way in control of the entire second half.
They absolutely did. And you are right. It was money that kind of made things awkward for them, both in the first half and then in the early stages of the second. But yeah, the 16-10, it's pretty convincing at the end when they do stretch their legs, and there was some very encouraging signs from Elige, NAF, Twist, Nitro up there as well, despite in-game leading. Taco continues to be informed. The whole team is firing on all cylinders. That said, Henry, we're going in vision. I thought we were going to go to an interview. I was waiting for Nicholas to tell me. I got really excited, and then he just said we're coming on camera, which isn't that exciting. I'm sorry.
Well, now NiP are now 1-1. Liquid go 2-0. You need 3-0 to make it to the next stage, so they're looking likely to do it. A lot of people are saying that Liquid could win the whole major. It was Cloud9 last time with a surprise shock victory. I don't think it'd be a shock if Liquid do it. They're a great unit overall. They're not relying on star power. They're just a great team in general.
Yeah, and it would be cool to see back-to-back North American organizations picking up the win. That said, Freya is on the floor with Team Liquid.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. I'm here with the winning side, Liquid, and with Nitro. So you guys have had an amazing run of form through the Challenger stage and now the Legends. What has worked so well for you guys?
The boot camp definitely helped that we had before in Amsterdam, and just, I don't know, just we have like a good rhythm going, like in terms of like preparation and individual skill. We've been practicing in our off days and stuff, and it's just really working out right now.
Because NiP, they've had a bit of a resurgence in form recently. Were you worried coming into this at all?
Not worried, but we knew that they were playing their A game like this tournament. They were looking really good. I had a really good game plan going into it, and like they had so many rounds on Mirage against like Astralis, like it was like 60 rounds or something. So we had a lot to study, and we took advantage of it.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why you picked Mirage since they've looked so good on it. Did you have anything in particular prepared for this map?
Yeah, we had some stuff prepared for sure. I'm not going to say it on the broadcast, but yeah, we had some stuff prepared for sure.
I just wanted to talk quickly about, I mean, you all had an amazing performance, but Elige in particular, he seemed to get some of those crucial round-winning kills. How does the team enable this performance?
It's hard to say. I just think, like, lately we've all been on our A game, and like I said before, the boot camp really helped, and after the player break, I think we're all very refreshed going into the post-player break. And yeah, I don't know, everyone's just on their A game right now, especially John. He's playing really well.
Just looking at this map a little bit more in depth, you guys looked really good starting off on that T side, getting those 5 rounds, and then you kind of lost your momentum a little bit. How did you get back into the game and manage to close it out?
Yeah, so it was 8-7 half. We were up like 6-1 or so. Like I said, we were following our game plan on the T side. It was working out the first 6 rounds. I think they adapted. We didn't readapt later in the half, and they picked up the remaining rounds. But our CT side was really solid here.
So as a veteran of Liquid, being on the side for over 4 years now, I believe, how does it feel to see the team performing so well together?
It feels good. Like, I feel like this is our first stable roster, and like we have very good work ethic, which is like the first time on this roster I've really felt it. We have a great coach that's really working hard, and I don't know, everything's just working out right now.
So do you think this lineup has the potential to go all the way at the major?
For sure, yeah.
Cool. Confident words there from Nitro. Thank you very much, and congratulations again on that win. Alex, over to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Freya. And yes, Team Liquid, they do have a very close first half, but it will be the second where we get to see just how that homework that Elige is, or rather Nitro is talking about, is paying off. 9-2 in the second half. That T side from Liquid did manage to get them off to a flying start.
Yeah, look, it felt just business as usual for Liquid, even though the scoreline shows it to be pretty close. The fact of the matter was they did grab both pistol rounds. NiP made them work for it in a way, but it was more just putting them through their paces than actually pushing them to the limit. And look, you get to see the individualism and the pure skill that we talk about from Liquid on show here, as NAF, Elige, and Twist all were fragging equally as well. That's why it's so difficult versus an opponent like this. You go A, you got Twist to deal with as Elige is that link player. You want to go middle, Elige and NAF link up. You want to go towards B, NAF's there backing up Taco every time. And it's just such a deadly trio.
I mean, Twist is just such a gamer. He doesn't seem to be flinching in any of these high-pressure scenarios.
Yeah, and that 1v3 he won from T-Ramp, I mean, even that pistol round that Liquid won as CT, I mean, just the shots they hit that round. Elige with the fadeaway one-tap, the upper B flank when the guy knew he was flanking, the guy, I think NAF getting that kill from Catwalk. All of those kills were incredible for Liquid to retake that site. So it's not only like they're just doing with tactics. These guys are on another level skill-wise right now.
And something interesting stood out as well from Nitro's interview, at least for myself, which was that, you know, this is the first time he's felt like everyone's got a good work ethic. He feels like he's finally got 5 players who all want the same thing, which I've heard, Chad, you've ranted and raved about in the past.
It is a problem to get everyone on the same wavelength and on the same page, and that's why we all look to Astralis and their system, and we say this is why they're the best team in the world, because having that backing, having that support network gets you there. Liquid, in recent months, if you follow them on any of their social media now, they have that Alienware place that they go to.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
And they've got Taco there to bring through what used to be, I guess, more of a family vibe coming out of the SK Brazilian things. Zeus there behind is a very vocal coach, and I guess just maturity for the younger players as NAF, Elige, and Twist all grow up throughout this. They're learning that, hey, we can't do this on our own. We have to do this as a team.
I think Astralis really set the blueprint for Liquid. They've copied a lot of their style as far as structure-wise, and approaching tournaments, taking time off. So they've really followed that blueprint that Astralis has created, and you can see they're reaping the benefits of that.
Now, we do have to talk about our head-to-head, and unfortunately, Chad, the analyst's curse, I suppose. We talked about Lekro, we talked about how influential he was, both in the Challenger stage and all of NiP's victories so far. We lost him today.
Yeah, he had a lot of impact in their previous games, at least as far as I can remember, or standing out to me, was in 1v2 situations, or when they were getting onto a bomb site, they cracked open with an entry, maybe they had lost 2 in transition, then he gets 2 huge impact frags. Here, it wasn't to be. He wasn't on point. I think there has to be a lot more mind games that go into a game against Liquid as opposed to, well, obviously Astralis is more of a different kettle of fish, but they weren't able to force any real economic woes on the sides of Liquid. Like their T side, sure, okay, they beat them down in the economy, and you could see towards the end of the first half they were having to scrap together some buys. But you want to do that on the CT side, especially against skilled teams, because we do know they can hold so strong on the bomb sites. You give them full utility as well, that becomes even more of a problem.
Yeah, and that head-to-head was brought to you by the Predator. Now, Sean, I do want you to go ahead and break this one down. You've selected a play, and I'm intrigued to know what you've got.
Yeah. So this is actually the first gun round. Liquid's on their T side, and I just really, really liked how Liquid approached this round. You can tell they put a lot of thought in based on the demos they watched. So what they're going to do is they're going to start off the round by throwing a bunch of utility mid, top mid smoke to deny info, molly connector. And NiP on their first gun round after losing pistol doesn't have a lot of utility, but they're still going to fight for mid, which Liquid knows they're probably going to do by looking at their demos. They smoke bottom connector. You're going to see Forrest come up on catwalk. He's also going to smoke up catwalk. They molly underpass, flash peek mid. And they're basically using everything they have right now to fight for mid control.
Wow.
But Liquid's not getting mid control. They don't want it right now. And on the extremities of the map, the A and B player are probably also smoking their spots because 3 players are fighting for mid. They have to hold their spots. So at this point, Liquid dry takes mid. No utility at all. Walks up, smokes up catwalk, runs up cat. The upper B players are ready. They molly van, molly balcony. Oh, Lekro's totally screwed from multiple angles, catwalk and upper B. And it's just an absolute perfect pinch on the bomb site.
Yeah, this is usually why I sit here when I say you go into a first gun round after losing pistol and you've actually done a force buy round when you are lower on utility. You have to have a predetermined move. You're going to be dictated to regardless. If you actually try and set the pace, a proper mid control, jumping out window, using utility and actually taking map territory back as opposed to trying to get them in transition is usually a better option. So NiP were dictated to and they play them like a fiddle.
That was gorgeous to watch, and it seems quite simple. When you watch it unfold, it's just, you hear the nades landing, you know you've done your job, Molotov window, a nice lazy smoke to cover you from connector, and you're good as gold.
Yeah, and the reason why it really works well is because the upper B player and the A player always pre-smoke their spots probably for NiP. So when those smokes fade, the A player now has to watch Palace and ramp. Well, the connector player now has to rotate back into A to pick up one of the 2. Liquid knows that based on the rotations from looking at their demos, and then just dry takes mid.
My goodness, it's simple yet it's effective, and it is so fun to watch when it works so well. More Counter-Strike coming, in fact. We've got the blockbuster affairs up next. 2 games. Breathe that in. You are not misreading it. 0-1. The draw came out. Na'Vi will be taking on FaZe Clan. To one of them going 0-2. Of course, 3 wins you're in. 3 wins, 3 losses you're out. That's reality, and I can't wait to talk all about it. It's going to be Na'Vi versus FaZe Clan coming up after the break.